ACTs, the SATs, what our average score is. And for this, we should see a huge increase in this for next year, since we're paying for, the board is paying for students to take the TSATs in 10th grade this year. So these numbers will go up a lot more than you see from last year. The state is also reporting out the amount of students that are in some specialty areas, especially the CTE fields. The state is highlighting CTE fields, and there's a statewide effort to bring more career and technology education into the schools. So you can see the amount of students compared to the state we have in music, drama, dance, visual arts. Part of moving to the rotating drop schedule with the high school is enhancing these areas with our new schedule. So again, we expect to see a change in this. Also worth noting, with that music participation, we still have a high degree of awards and recognitions for our wonderful music program. Another focus area of the state, is looking for absenteeism. As they move to ESSA, they start looking at indicators of student progress, indicators for schools. Attendance is becoming a priority for the state. They're looking at schools that are going above 10% of absences. How many students that is? Over 5% of the students going over 10%, which is 18 days. That is something we have to take a close look at. It's directly related to student performance. The state is now reporting on it, as well as discipline and other things moving forward in these reports.
And I don't want to gloss over that. 18 days is the bottom. And we have students that miss upwards of 40 days. And that does impact our college and career readiness significantly. I know people don't believe that an excused absence has an impact, but it absolutely does. And we're going to be talking about that more and more through the rest of this year and into next year.
So the final section is school climate. This section of the performance report really outlines things you can see from the length of the school day to the instructional time that students spend with teachers. On the bottom left, there's a suspension rate and expulsion rate. On the top right, there's a student to staff ratio. I just pointed out only because it says the faculty ratio is 12:1, and that includes all faculty in the building, so we don't want to confuse that with a teacher-to-student ratio. So it's not that for every student, for every 12 students, there's a teacher, but it's faculty in general. So we also wanted to outline for you some of our next steps in sharing this information with as wide an audience as possible. Tomorrow we'll be sending out, Kent and I, a letter to parents in the community explaining the reports and how to access them. And we're also going to include a link to a tutorial there. This tutorial was put out by the NJDOE, Department of Ed. And it may take a moment to load, but it really is a great resource. When you click on it, it speaks to you, it presents to you, and you can select if you're the parent of an elementary student or a high school student, and then it really gears the presentation to you specifically and talks you through the different sections that we spoke about. Similarly, we're also going to be putting the reports on our district website. So if you go to district offices and curriculum and instruction, oh, you're already there. And if you scroll down a bit, you'll see that we listed each school individually as PDFs. And then on the bottom, we also did put another link to that tutorial. So if people have questions or want to learn more about kind of the ins and outs of how this data is gathered, they can click on that as well. We're really hoping this is going to be the starting point of a discussion to really make decisions from, and we invite all stakeholders to please take a look at them when you have a few minutes. And we want to thank you for the time to present this evening.
Thank you.